I am Optimus Prime, and you're watching E.T.N, where the Autobots are subscribed.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I'm your host Rob, and this video we're going to talk some more Transformers 4 Age of Extinction. Now, the last two videos I made, basically focusing on Galvatron, had a lot of response from a lot of different people. First of all, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate everybody's insight and opinions. Some of you feverishly disagreed with my sentiment about Galvatron and being made by humans. You guys pleaded your case, I pleaded mine. A lot of people also agreed with me. And that's just how it goes. Basically it. There's still some things about this movie I am looking forward to. And while Galvatron is the first thing that I've ever openly complained about in terms of what Michael Bay has done to this series, for the most part, I have enjoyed it. I really have. I've accepted the changes. And one thing I am looking forward to is the Dinobots. And I wanted to talk about them a little bit because obviously the Dinobots in this movie are going to be very different than what we all know. So far from what I've seen, I like the look. I like the way Grimlock looks in the trailer. I know there's some people who are not crazy about that, but I don't expect it to look just like the cartoon or just like a video game. So I like that. I like the way he looks. I think my biggest question at this point is, are they going to transform into robots? Now, that's a question that a couple of people have asked actually on some of my other videos as to whether or not these guys are going to transform. I would think they would. I don't see why they would not transform, but I guess that question is raised because in one scene you see Optimus Prime riding Grimlock. Another scene you see Bumblebee getting saved by another Dinobot who is in dinosaur form, the two-headed pterodon I think it was, and you really haven't seen any scenes of them transforming or being robots, and I think. While it's just a trailer, and that for the most part it's a very short trailer at that in terms of showing the robots. The first half of the trailer is all human. The second half of the trailer is all robots, so it could just be that the trailer makes it look that way, but I can understand why some people are concerned because sometimes the movies have changed things so dramatically that the last thing you want is to see Grimlock be subjected to just being a Tyrannosaurus Rex and doesn't even talk, doesn't even transform. That would be kind of heartbreaking, and I think some people want confirmation first. Like, they want to know, all right, before I invest in this movie, which has always been a questionable series for me, and this is just speaking, hypothetically, I think people are thinking to themselves, before I invest in this movie, I want to know if I'm going to see what I want to see, which is Grimlock transform, talk me Grimlock, things like that. So without being able to see that yet, I think people are a little bit like up in the air about going to see the movie. I think at some point or another we'll see a trailer, another short one or a TV spot where you do see them in robot form. But and that's wishful thinking. But I would think between now and June, between now and the time of the release of the movie, I think we'll see something that'll give us a hint. At least a hint that these robot dinosaurs are going to transform into a robot form. The other thing too is, now this movie has become a trilogy again. They're restarting the whole trilogy again. Who can blame them? I mean, they've made a lot of money with this trilogy. They've made a substantial amount of money despite all the criticism of Michael Bay. And who could blame them from starting another one? I think the question now is, where are they going to go? Because they have kind of mowed through so many different robots and so many different villains. What's really left? I mean, Megatron did not last very long in this trilogy. The first movie, you got to see him towards the end. The second movie, he was basically a pawn to the Fallen. And in the third movie, he was a pawn again to Sentinel Prime. So it's kind of disappointing that Megatron never really had a highlight movie for himself, at least. I mean, some people could argue the first one, but again, he was only in the first one for like the last couple of minutes. So, but now going forward, really the only two robots that you have consistently seen since the first movie is Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. I would say Starscream as well, but Starscream is not going to be in this movie as far as I know. I mean, I'm just guessing, but last time I looked over the robot roster, I didn't see his name, and in Dark of the Moon, he got canned by Sam of all people. So we probably won't be seeing him. So I think now the question is, do you start to bring in more robots that I guess we could kind of gravitate towards? And it's not that I don't like Optimus and Bumblebee. Obviously, those are the two most popular robots in this movie series. But I just don't feel you can keep mowing through these robots like this. I mean, at least some of them, you know, if Galvatron turns out to be the main villain, if he turns out to go rogue against the humans, like a lot of you guys were talking about when you were responding to my ranting, that's all fine and well. But I would, if that happens, at least can we have him as the primary villain for a little while, maybe 2 movies before we off him or before we bring in somebody else, you know. And I think the other thing is, some people might wonder, now that this is a new trilogy, whether or not we'll ever see Rodimus Prime. I gotta be honest, while that would be cool, I think that the one thing keeping this series going, in my opinion now, is Peter Cullen voicing Optimus Prime. And I think once you take that out of the movie, I think you're going to lose a lot. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that's fact, but I think that because he is so well known as Optimus and because he is such a popular voice actor, that if you decide to kill off Optimus Prime for the sake of bringing in Rodimus, I don't know if that's going to work. You know, it barely worked in the cartoon movie. I mean, I liked Rodimus, but it wasn't that long after that, maybe another season or so, that Optimus came back anyway. Because, you know, and at that time as a kid, it was it seemed to be the popular thing to do. But whether or not we'll see Optimus die in the movies, I don't know. I don't think they'll do it. I think they know better. I think they know that that would just be a wrong move to bring in another robot leader. You know, you might see Hot Rod come in and then maybe just be another robot, but I don't think we'll... I'm just guessing. I don't think we'll ever see Rodimus Prime, not because I don't like him, not because he's not cool. I just don't think you'll see him because from a movie standpoint, I don't see how they could carry on without Optimus. They've become so dependent on that character leading this series to all the money that it's gotten that it just wouldn't be a smart business move at this point. So, but anyway, Dinobots, Transformers 4, what do you guys think? Do you guys think they're going to transform into robots? Do you think they're going to be more like their cartoon versions, or do you expect to see them maybe a little bit less intelligent, maybe a little bit more intelligent? I hope they transform. I would love to see Grimlock in robot action. We already know we're going to see him in Tyrannosaurus Rex action. And that's it, guys. I just want to hear your opinions on that. Dinobots, will they transform? How do you feel about another trilogy, this being the beginning of another trilogy, which was announced a couple of days ago? I first read about it on IGN when it was confirmed, so I know the news has been out there for a little bit. I just want to hear what you guys think about it. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Nation Facebook page.